Maya wasn't sure when the coffee became less important than the person who made it. She'd been coming to Bobine, a quaint coffee shop nestled between a vintage bookstore and a yoga studio, almost every morning for the past 2 weeks. The reason, she admitted only to herself, wasn't the quality of the espresso. It was the barista behind the counter, Lucas. He was in his early 20s, younger than her by nearly a decade, and had that unpolished handsomeness that felt both dangerous and magnetic. His blonde hair always looked like he had just run his hands through it, and his ocean blue eyes seemed to linger on hers longer than necessary. He was tall, athletic, with just enough muscle to fill out his tight black t-shirt. His forearms, veined and lightly tanned, flexed as he worked the espresso machine. Maya wasn't immune to that kind of charm. Today, she had dressed with deliberate care. Her champagne-colored dress hugged her slender figure, its soft fabric swaying around her legs as she walked. The neckline revealed a tasteful amount of cleavage, drawing just enough attention to her full round breasts without being inappropriate. Beneath the dress, she wore a matching lace lingerie set in a delicate nude tone, the bra lifting her chest subtly. Her waist tapered in, hips smooth and feminine, and her backside, tight, well-shaped, swayed gently with each step. Her long chestnut hair cascaded in soft waves over her shoulders, framing her warm brown eyes. She ordered her drink like she always did, iced vanilla latte with oat milk, but today she didn't leave right away. Instead, she lingered at the counter watching him. "Lucas," she said with a smile, her voice smooth like silk. He looked up and returned her smile. "Hey, back again." "I like consistency," she replied, sipping from her straw. "And I like the view." Lucas raised an eyebrow. "The bookstore?" Maya leaned forward just a little. "You know that's not what I meant." His lips twitched into a grin. He set a hand on the counter, leaning closer. "You're bold today." "Only today?" she teased. Their eyes locked, and the air between them seemed to shift. Something unspoken passed, charged and full of possibility. "You free tonight?" she asked, brushing a strand of hair from her face. He blinked. "Seriously? Sunset walk, near the lake trail. No strings, no pressure." She paused. "Unless you want pressure." Lucas looked down, then up at her again, his smile slower this time. "What time?" They met just before sunset. The lake trail was quiet, kissed with the orange glow of the sinking sun. Cicadas buzzed lazily, and the occasional jogger passed by, oblivious to anything beyond their earbuds. Maya had changed into something more casual. High-waisted jeans that hugged her curves, and a white sleeveless top with thin straps that showed off her smooth shoulders and arms. Beneath it, she wore a soft pink bralette that subtly outlined her chest when the light hit just right. Lucas had opted for simplicity. Grey joggers and a white t-shirt, slightly damp at the neckline from the heat. The fabric clung to his chest, hinting at the strength beneath. They walked in silence for a while, comfortable. "You always like flirting with strangers?" he asked eventually, not looking at her. "Only when the stranger has nice hands," she said, glancing down at his fingers. "And a better smile." He chuckled, then stopped walking. "You're married, right?" She turned to him, not surprised by the question. "Yes." "That doesn't bother you. Does it bother you?" Lucas studied her face for a long time, as if trying to decide something. Then he stepped forward. Their kiss was soft at first, uncertain. Maya's hand moved to his chest, feeling the rapid beat of his heart. His fingers slid to her waist, then her lower back. The moment deepened as he pressed against her, the curve of her hips fitting into his hold. Her breath caught when his lips traveled along her jawline, brushing her neck. She leaned into him, arching her body slightly, feeling the heat of his touch through her thin top. Their bodies moved in sync, chest against chest, thigh to thigh. His hand trailed down her spine, lingering just above her jeans, then slipping slightly beneath the waistband. She gasped, not in fear, but in desire. "Tell me if you want me to stop," he murmured, his lips against her ear. "Don't," she whispered. They stayed that way, entangled in a quiet grove of trees just off the trail, the last rays of the sun slipping behind the horizon. But then he pulled away. "Maya," he said softly, brushing his thumb over her lips. "You're the kind of woman a guy doesn't forget. But I'm not going to be your mistake." She looked at him, her breath uneven. He stepped back. "This was beautiful. Let's not ruin it." Before she could reply, he turned and walked down the trail, his silhouette fading into the orange dusk. Maya stood alone, the wind gently stirring her hair. She smiled faintly. The night had only just begun. After that evening, Maya felt a shift inside her, subtle, yet undeniable. Every morning she woke with the same mixture of guilt and exhilaration thrumming beneath her skin, a blend that neither faded nor overwhelmed. She tried to pour herself into daily routines, but nothing compared to the rush she felt with Lucas. Each day, she dressed with careful precision. Form-fitting blouses, pencil skirts that highlighted her hips, thin stockings that accentuated the curve of her legs. Her lingerie was always chosen to match. Delicate lace, usually in soft shades of beige or blush, the cups supporting her round breasts, and the panties hugging her pert, toned backside. She still wore her wedding ring, but now it felt almost foreign on her finger. Every visit to the coffee shop became a ritual. She noticed every detail: the warmth of the space, the murmur of quiet conversations, the aroma of roasted beans. Lucas's presence, tall, confident, a flicker of mischief in his blue eyes, seemed to light up the room. He too had changed. He looked at her longer, his voice lower, his hands steadier as he handed her coffee. One late afternoon, as Maya was preparing to leave, a bright voice called her name. "Hey, stranger. I thought that was you." It was Lauren. Lauren had always been the sun to Maya's moon. Petite, radiant, with platinum blonde hair that fell in straight layers to her shoulders, and a smile that drew people in. She was dressed in a flirty red sundress that skimmed her lean frame, a glimpse of lacy white bra visible beneath the thin fabric. Her legs were bare, athletic, her walk full of confident grace. She and Maya hugged tightly. "Didn't expect to see you here," Lauren said, grinning. "Is this place as good as they say? Or is there something else worth coming back for?" Maya caught Lucas's eye from across the room, and for a moment, his gaze flickered between the two women. "It's the coffee," Maya said, a smile playing on her lips. "Mostly." Lauren ordered an iced chai, striking up a conversation with Lucas. She was naturally flirtatious, her laughter ringing out, her words dancing on the edge of mischief. Maya watched them, an odd sense of jealousy swirling in her chest. A new, unexpected emotion. Lucas was polite, but there was a difference in the way he looked at Lauren. Professional, distant. They sat together by the window, Lauren chatting about her latest date disasters, her voice warm and familiar. Maya tried to focus, but her mind kept drifting to Lucas, to the heat of his hands, the memory of his lips on her neck. Back home that evening, Maya's husband, James, was already in the kitchen. He was tall, broad-shouldered, handsome in a classic way. He wore expensive clothes with the ease of someone used to attention. But his voice was always a few degrees too cold. Their conversation was ordinary. Work, bills, the weather. There was no spark. She found herself staring at him, wondering if he had ever looked at her the way Lucas did. A few days later, Maya returned to the coffee shop. Lucas seemed tense, his usual smile flickering. She waited until the crowd thinned. "I missed you," she said quietly. He hesitated. "I thought we said no more." "We did," she replied. "But here I am." He took a deep breath. "Meet me tonight, 7 o'clock. Room 304 at the Parkview Hotel." Maya felt her heart hammering. That night, she took extra care getting ready. She chose a midnight blue dress, soft and clingy, falling just above her knees. Underneath, she wore a new set of blush pink lace lingerie, a demi-cup bra that lifted her breasts, panties that traced the curve of her hips, a sheer garter belt holding up fine silk stockings. She checked her reflection, cheeks flushed, eyes shining. For the first time in months, she felt truly alive. She arrived at the hotel and found Lucas waiting by the door, dressed simply but well. Dark jeans, a crisp shirt. His eyes widened when he saw her, taking in every detail. He closed the door softly behind them. The room was dim, the city lights casting shifting shadows on the walls. Lucas moved towards her, his touch gentle but urgent. He traced his fingers along the straps of her dress, then slowly unzipped it, letting it fall to the floor. Maya stood before him, her body illuminated by soft lamplight. Long legs, flat stomach, the lace of her bra barely containing her full breasts. Lucas pressed his lips to her collarbone, moving lower, his hands roaming her sides, her waist, her hips. She closed her eyes, savoring the sensation of his skin on hers. He knelt, kissing a trail along her inner thigh, his hands sliding up to cup her bottom. She gasped, her body arching towards him. He rose and pulled her to the bed, laying her gently down. Their bodies intertwined, skin on skin, heart pounding, nerves alight with anticipation. His mouth explored her neck, her shoulders, the delicate line of her jaw. She ran her hands through his hair, pulling him closer. For a moment, the world outside ceased to exist. Afterwards, they lay tangled in the sheets, her head resting on his chest. Lucas traced circles on her back, his breath warm against her hair. "We shouldn't do this again," Maya said quietly, her fingers tracing the outline of his jaw. "I know," he replied, but the sadness in his eyes betrayed him. She dressed in silence, the pink lace disappearing beneath her dress. Before she left, she paused at the door. "Thank you," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. He smiled, bittersweet. "You're unforgettable, Maya." The next morning, everything felt different. Maya avoided the coffee shop, but the city seemed smaller. Every street a reminder. Lauren called her, inviting her out for drinks. "You've got that look," Lauren teased when they met. "A look of someone with a secret, maybe," Maya replied, smiling. But her heart ached with confusion. Lauren leaned in, her voice conspiratorial. "Careful, darling, hearts are tricky things." Maya laughed, but the warning lingered. That night, alone in bed, Maya replayed everything. The laughter with Lauren, the tension with Lucas, the cold comfort of her husband. She wondered what would happen if she let herself fall. The city was alive with possibility, but her heart was tangled in threads she could not easily undo. Maya knew she was changing, but she was not the only one who noticed. For the first time in years, her husband, James, seemed to actually look at her, searching her face for hints she did not want to give. Their conversations grew shorter, his silences heavier. He lingered in the evenings, glancing at her phone when she set it on the counter, asking subtle questions about her schedule. One morning, as she was leaving for the coffee shop, James stopped her at the door. "Where are you going?" he asked, his eyes sharp beneath the calm. "Just out for a coffee," she replied, forcing a smile. He nodded, but the tension lingered like smoke. When she arrived at Bo Bean, the usual comfort was gone. The barista at the counter was not Lucas. Instead, it was Maddie, a young woman with a nervous smile and a habit of pushing her glasses up her nose. Maya hesitated. "Lucas isn't here today?" she asked, her voice casual. Maddie shook her head. "He called in sick, I think. Maybe tomorrow?" Maya tried to hide her disappointment. She left without her coffee, her mind swirling. She walked for a long time, turning over memories. Lucas's hands on her skin, his lips tracing fire along her neck, the tangled sheets in the hotel room. Her body ached for him, but her mind was restless, uncertain. Days passed. Maya visited the coffee shop, but Lucas did not return. She messaged him, but her texts went unanswered. The silence grew unbearable. Lauren, always perceptive, called her out for her distraction. "Are you going to tell me what's going on?" Lauren asked over drinks at a rooftop bar. Maya shook her head, but her eyes betrayed her. "Is it about Lucas?" Lauren's tone softened. You know, you are not the first woman to get tangled up in a pretty face. Maya bristled. It's not like that. Lauren only smiled, a strange glint in her eyes. Sure. The conversation drifted, but Maya's thoughts stayed with Lucas. One late afternoon, unable to resist any longer, Maya drove by the Parkview Hotel, half hoping to see Lucas. Instead, she spotted Lauren at a table in the hotel's cafe, alone, staring at her phone. Maya watched as a man approached Lauren, tall, dark-haired, athletic. Not Lucas, but there was something familiar about the way he moved, the way he leaned in close to whisper to Lauren. Lauren laughed, her hand brushing his arm. Jealousy surged in Maya's chest, sharp, unexpected. That evening, Maya confronted Lauren. I saw you at the hotel, Maya said. Who was that with you? Lauren shrugged, unbothered. A friend. You're not the only one with secrets, you know. Their eyes met. Something unspoken passed between them, brittle and tense. The next day, Maya received a message from an unknown number. Meet me at the parking lot behind Bobine, 10 o'clock. L. Her heart pounded. She arrived on time, nerves buzzing. Lucas was waiting for her. The sight of him, leaning against his car, sent a jolt through her. He looked tired, his shirt rumpled, eyes shadowed. Maya, he said, his voice softer than she remembered. She hesitated, then walked to him, her fingers trembling. You disappeared. I had to think, he replied. This is getting complicated. She reached for him, her needs stronger than her doubts. He pulled her into his arms, his hands finding her waist, drawing her close. She pressed her lips to his, hungrily. Her fingers tangled in his hair. His mouth traveled down her neck, his breath hot and ragged. Her hands slipped under his shirt, feeling the hard muscles of his stomach, his chest. He lifted her slightly, setting her atop the hood of his car. His hands sliding up her thighs, pushing her skirt higher. Maya gasped, her back arching as he pressed kisses along her inner thigh, his hands exploring every curve. She felt exposed and alive, her body trembling beneath his touch. For a moment, she forgot everything. Her marriage, her worries, the world. It was just the two of them, breathless in the dark, skin on skin, hearts racing. I missed you, she whispered, her voice breaking. He rested his forehead against hers, breathing hard. I missed you, too. They sat together in silence, the night wrapping them in secrecy. But the spell was broken by a sudden sound, footsteps crunching on gravel. Maya jumped, pulling her skirt down. A shadow passed behind them, a man in a baseball cap glancing their way before moving on. Lucas tensed. We should go, he said, voice tight. She nodded, heart pounding. The next morning, Maya returned to Bobine, but something was wrong. The shop was closed. A sign hung in the window, closed for renovations. See you soon. Confused, she circled the building, but it was empty. No staff, no Maddie, no Emma, no one. Maya tried to call Lucas, but his number was disconnected. A creeping dread set in. She searched for answers, asking Maddie, the other barista, who she found by chance at a nearby grocery store. "Do you know when the shop will reopen?" Maya asked. Maddie looked puzzled. "I honestly do not know. Lucas left a few days ago. Didn't even say goodbye. Emma's been acting weird too. She just shut everything down." Maya tried to piece things together, but nothing made sense. At home, she found herself watching Lauren's social media stories, trying to spot Lucas's face in the background, to find some clue. One evening, James came home earlier than usual. He sat across from Maya at the dinner table, his eyes cold and unreadable. "Who is Lucas?" he asked. Her fork froze in midair. "What?" He slid her phone across the table. The screen showed a single message. "I miss you." She felt everything inside her collapse. "I should have known," James said quietly. Maya could not speak. The silence grew, thick and unbearable. She stood, the chair scraping the floor behind her. She did not look back as she left the room. That night, alone, Maya replayed the parking lot, the kisses, the sound of footsteps in the dark. She wondered if this was what she wanted, or simply what she needed. The world felt fragile, her heart an open wound. Lucas was gone. The city felt colder, every street haunted by memories. Yet beneath the ache, a sliver of something else took root. Hope. Maybe, she thought, this was not the end, just a turning point. Maya's world felt like it was closing in. Every morning, she half expected to find Lucas waiting by the coffee shop door, flashing that mischievous grin. Instead, there was only silence. The shop remained shuttered, the sign gathering dust in the window. Days blurred into each other, and her sense of direction faded. Lauren tried to reach out, but Maya declined every invitation, hiding away in her apartment, haunted by the past weeks. Yet curiosity gnawed at her, refusing to let her rest. She kept replaying the clues, Lauren's secretive smile, the man at the hotel cafe, the sudden closure of Bo Bean. It all felt connected, somehow, as if there was something just out of sight. On a restless evening, Maya found herself scrolling through old photos on her phone. A picture caught her eye. Lauren, standing at the edge of a crowded rooftop bar, laughing, her arm slung around a familiar figure. Maya's heart leapt. It was Lucas, looking younger, hair longer, dressed in a crisp black shirt and slacks. They looked close, too close. Maya's fingers trembled as she dialed Lauren's number. "Hey," Lauren answered, her voice bright as ever. "I need to see you," Maya said, not bothering to mask the urgency. There was a pause. "Come over." Lauren's apartment was a study in effortless glamour. Velvet couches, gold-trimmed mirrors, candles flickering on every surface. Lauren herself appeared in a flowing silk robe, her platinum hair gathered into a loose bun, a touch of blush on her cheeks. "You look like Helga," Lauren said gently. Maya sat on the edge of the sofa. "Did you know Lucas before I did?" Lauren smiled, her eyes darting away. We met a few years ago. He was different then. Maya pushed. You were together? Lauren hesitated, then nodded, briefly. He used to work at a different coffee place, across town. We were close for a while. He's complicated. Lauren's gaze softened. Maya, don't look for answers in other people. You won't like what you find. Maya shook her head, unwilling to be comforted. Was it real for you? Lauren laughed, bitter and fond. We had our moments. A memory flashed in Lauren's mind. Lucas's hands warm and steady on her back, the steam curling in a candlelit bathroom. He had run her a bath, filling it with fragrant oils, the water shimmering. Lauren had slipped in, letting the heat melt away her worries. Lucas knelt beside the tub, his fingers tracing delicate circles over her bare shoulders, along the nape of her neck. He pressed gentle kisses down her spine, his hands gliding over her slick skin, lingering at the swell of her breast. She arched her back, meeting his lips, their laughter echoing against the tiles. His touch was both reverent and knowing, every caress making her feel seen, cherished. He lifted her from the water, wrapping her in a towel, his lips finding hers. Soft, slow, endlessly patient. In that moment, Lauren felt weightless, alive. Lauren blinked, the memory fading. He made me feel special. I thought I was the only one. Maya's voice was small. So did I. Back home, Maya could not sleep. Her mind spun with questions. Why had Lucas really come into her life? Why did he disappear? Was Lauren telling the whole truth? Desperate for answers, Maya decided to visit the closed coffee shop one last time. Night had already fallen. The street was empty, bathed in the yellow glow of streetlights. The glass door reflected her own anxious face. She rattled the handle. It was locked, as always. Suddenly, a car door slammed behind her. Maya turned, heart pounding. It was Emma, the owner of Bo Bean, tall, impeccably dressed, her expression tense. Looking for someone? Emma's tone was cautious. I wanted to ask about Lucas, Maya stammered. Emma's eyes narrowed. He never worked here officially. He helped out a few times, but he wasn't on the books. One day, he just vanished. No warning. Do you know where he went? Emma shook her head. No idea. He wasn't who he said he was. Maya stared, shocked. What do you mean? Emma hesitated. I probably shouldn't say this, but you and Lauren are not the only ones asking about him. Last week, a man came by, said he was looking for Lucas too. He left this. Emma handed Maya a worn business card. No name, just a number. On the back, scrawled in blue ink, were the words, "Ask Lauren." Maya pocketed the card, her mind racing. At home, she confronted Lauren by text. Who else is looking for Lucas? Who hired him? What are you not telling me? The reply came after a long pause. It is complicated. I never meant for you to get hurt. Meet me tomorrow. Unable to rest, Maya turned her thoughts inward, replaying every encounter. She remembered Lucas's gentle touch, the way he always seemed just out of reach. She wondered if she was only a piece in someone else's story. She scrolled through old messages and found one more picture. This one from months before she ever met Lucas. It was a group photo. Lauren, Lucas, and another man Maya did not recognize, standing arm in arm at a bar. Everyone looked happy, but Lucas's smile was strained, his eyes distant. A chill passed through Maya. There was so much she did not know. She lay in bed, sleepless, questions circling her mind like moths around a flame. The next day, Maya met Lauren in the same hotel cafe where she'd first seen her talking to that dark-haired man. Lauren was tense, her hands wrapped around a mug. "Who is looking for Lucas?" Maya demanded quietly. Lauren's face paled. "His past is catching up with him, Maya. There are things I can't say." Maya leaned in. "Then say this. Was anything between us real?" Lauren's eyes glistened. "I think he wanted it to be, for both of us." Maya let the answer hang between them, incomplete, heavy with possibility. That night, Maya sat on her balcony, staring at the city lights. The truth felt close but slippery. Lucas had slipped through the cracks, like a shadow, impossible to hold. She wondered if she would ever know his real story, or if he would remain just a beautiful mystery in the pages of her life. For the first time in weeks, she allowed herself to hope that maybe, with or without answers, she could let him go. But deep inside, a single word echoed, insistent and unquiet. Why? The following morning, Maya woke with the bitter taste of uncertainty in her mouth. The city outside felt both familiar and strange. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand, a message from Lauren. "Come to my place. No more secrets." Maya hesitated, but curiosity and a need for closure drove her. She dressed simply, in soft jeans and a pale lavender blouse that set off her hair. She wore a matching lavender bra and panties. Her figure slim but strong in the morning light. Her face in the mirror looked older, wiser, but still beautiful, chestnut hair tumbling down her shoulders. Lauren's apartment felt different this time. The gold light was muted, the air heavy with anticipation. Lauren herself wore loose white linen pants and a fitted navy top that emphasized her petite frame. Underneath, a glimpse of powder blue lingerie showed through the fabric. She was barefoot, pacing. Maya sat on the couch, knees drawn to her chest. "I need the truth." Lauren stopped while pacing. Her eyes glimmered with sadness. "You deserve it, more than anyone." She perched beside Maya. "After Lucas and I ended, I was angry. Not just at him, but at myself. I thought he was the answer to everything that was wrong in my life. When he left, I wanted to hurt him back somehow. I met someone, an ex of his, a man named Chris. Chris wanted revenge for his own reasons. He offered me a way to get closure." Maya's brow furrowed. "What do you mean?" Lauren looked away. "Chris paid Lucas to come back, not to see me, but to seduce someone else. Someone like me, someone who would understand what it felt like to be left behind." The truth hit Maya like a physical blow. You set me up. Lauren's voice cracked. At first, yes. I thought if you fell for Lucas, I'd finally be free of him. I did not expect you to fall in love. A heavy silence fell between them. Maya's thoughts spun with shock and hurt, but also clarity. All the pieces snapped into place. The mysterious number, the group photo, Lauren's jealousy and guilt. You could have told me, Maya whispered. I was ashamed, Lauren said. But I never wanted you to get hurt. I swear. There was a knock at the door. Lauren answered, and Maya felt her heart jump as Lucas stepped inside. He wore simple dark jeans and a fitted grey shirt that clung to his athletic frame. He looked tired, but as handsome as ever. Blonde hair tousled, blue eyes sad. He sat down across from Maya, his gaze steady. I owe you the truth, he said. I'm not who you thought I was. Lauren and Chris wanted me to make you fall for me. But I did not expect to fall for you too. Maya searched his face for a lie, but found only regret. Why did you leave? She asked softly. He ran a hand through his hair. Because I could not keep lying. And because I was afraid of what would happen if I stayed. You deserve more than someone like me. A man who makes a living off charm and secrets. Lauren wiped her eyes. Maya, I am so sorry. Maya stood. It was all a game to you both? Lucas shook his head, voice low. No. For me, stopped being a game the night at the hotel. Everything after that was real. A memory burned in Maya's mind. Lucas's hands sliding down her sides. His lips exploring every inch of her bare skin. She remembered how he had pressed her to the bed, their bodies fitting together. Every movement slow, deliberate, full of longing and fear. He had kissed her as though she was the only woman in the world, whispering that she deserved happiness, that she was beautiful. Their breaths mingled, bodies entwined, skin tingling with sensation and the ache of something more than desire. A desperate hope that they could escape the past if only for one night. She remembered the weight of him above her, the way his hands had cupped her face as he entered her, gentle and sure. She remembered feeling whole and seen in a way she never had before, her heart pounding in time with his. When it was over, they had lain together, Lucas tracing lazy patterns on her hip, his words a promise and a farewell. You deserve better than me. Back in the present, Maya straightened her shoulders. It was real for me too, but it's over. Lucas nodded. I'll leave, I promise. Lauren met Maya's gaze. Please forgive me. Maya exhaled, feeling both older and lighter. Maybe someday, but not today. When Maya left the apartment, the city felt different. She wandered through the streets, her mind clearing with every step. At home, James was waiting. He looked up from the kitchen, eyes uncertain. We should talk, he said. They sat in silence for a long time. Finally, Maya spoke. You deserve honesty. I was unfaithful, but I am not sorry for finding out who I am. James nodded slowly. We've been strangers for a long time. Maybe it's time we stop pretending. They parted that evening. No anger, just a mutual release. Weeks passed. Maya moved into a small studio, filling it with flowers and light. She started drawing again, pouring her confusion and hope into sketches. Sometimes she thought of Lucas. A pang, then a smile. Sometimes Lauren sent a message, but Maya rarely replied. One bright Saturday, she walked past a new coffee shop. Inside, a young woman in a yellow dress laughed behind the counter, sunlight spilling over her hair. Maya paused, letting the scent of coffee and fresh pastries wash over her. She stepped inside and ordered a cappuccino. As she waited, she felt something new stirring inside her. Not longing or regret, but excitement for what might come next. She smiled, her heart finally at peace.